Okay, it's not going off right now, but I have carbon monoxide detector directly above my furnace that is going off. Part of the problem could be carbon monoxide coming out of the gaps here and the exhaust that goes outside, out the roof. But also I have a crappy kind of filter here, which I have taken off, or actually my friend took off for me. But basically what's happening is this is my return air. It is sucking dirty air. As you can see, all the dirt and crap in my basement. I have an old school basement that has partial floor and partial dirt. As you can see, I've done some crappy filling jobs, but just in order to keep the moisture out of here. But basically what's happening is it's sucking in dirty air. So what's going to happen is this return is going to be completely changed, and it's going to be ran over into here, okay, where there's already a hole. So we'll be cutting a hole there, a bigger hole, to have the return air. And basically it's going to suck fresh air out of my living room where the main thermostat is, in order to get fresh air. Okay, but this is my real culprit right here. Okay, as you can see, my hot water heater is absolutely shot. Okay, and if I turn it up here, you'll see it'll over bellow out. Scared the crap out of me, even though I knew it was going to happen. Okay, now what'll happen is it'll actually come out so far that it's melting all this plastic and everything here, and as you can see, everything is really deteriorated. Sorry, I have a mount on my camera right now, so it's kind of hard to get it in there. But as you can see, the burner itself is completely, overrun and caked up in all kinds of ash and soot and all kinds of crap. So it actually is lighting properly and everything, but it is absolute crap. I'm turning it down right now because basically this is about to get replaced. The other one should be here in a little while. I'm gonna have more than one parts to this video because I have to run out to the store and this particular camera doesn't pause. Okay, so basically what's gonna happen is this whole unit is going. I got the same exact thing coming in. Okay, my pressure relief valve, as you can see, who knows if it even works anymore. It's got so much crap, but it pours down the side here. All right, now this should have a tube coming down about 6 inches off the ground, which will keep all that from happening, because what actually could happen, whatever, is that all this hot water is so hot that it'll actually melt some of the plastic components. As a matter of fact, if you look straight down the entire thing, if you notice right about here, it starts to bellow out a little bit like it's warped or something. I don't know if you can see that on the camera. Not much at all, but obviously that's not natural, and it's probably from whenever I think it's like 200 degrees it gets to. I'm not sure exactly the number, but once it gets to a certain temperature, this will open up and let some relief so that this doesn't get so hot that it starts warping and everything. But instead, unfortunately, because there's no tube coming down, it's spraying all over and it's making a big mess. So that could be excuse me, where a lot of this rust comes from, getting stuck right back into itself and then pooling up, and or it could have been from a flooded basement, but my basement does not flood. I don't know if it used to, but this has been like this since I bought the house. And as you notice, it's not as bad over here, which leads me to believe, like I said, that the water is coming down here and it's getting trapped into there. Okay, now my wife's about to take a shower before I remove and drain this, but so that's why it's still on. Okay, but basically what we're going to be doing today, I apologize, also it's missing a little like a retainer type of thing. Like I can actually feel a little bit of heat in here right now where all the exhaust is supposed to be going out, and that little coupler or whatever it's called that goes right in here, basically it just helps direct the hot air going straight out so it'll exhaust out of the top of the house. Okay, now what I'm going to do, this is crap, this is junk, so I'm probably going to put a shark bite valve on here in order to turn the water on and off. Okay, so basically this is the cold water coming in, This is the hot water going out. It's not very hot right now because I have the thermostat turned down. But basically, this is going to get cut right around here, and then I'll put on the SharkBite, which is basically it's a non-sweating type of fitting, valve. I'm sorry. And basically, when you put it on, it'll just snap on instead of having to braze all this, or not braze, sweat all this on. Okay, so cut here, I'll unscrew this. I'll cut here, I'll unscrew this. But the first thing I actually have to do, I'll be shutting off the gas. Okay, right here. Okay, the gas comes in. Shut that off. Okay. Then what I'll be doing is, this is the where you drain it. So you hook up a garden hose to here and run it to a drain in the floor or something. I don't have a drain in my floor. I only have one window, and it's actually just a vent. It's not an actual window. I had it bricked up because for some reason the last guy put the furnace right in front of the only window in my entire basement, which I don't understand, and I am not able to get another one because the way my house is, everywhere around my house on the outside there's nowhere that I can put a window because my neighbors are too close to me. And as you can see, I just noticed that just now, you can see some light coming in where my main gas line comes in. So that might be something I'm fixing today also, because basically I just have heat running out of my house. I already have a vent, so I really have no need for that damn thing. This tank is out of commission, so ignore the fact that you see an oil tank and you see gas running on my hot water heater. But so instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a garden hose, okay, and I'm just going to take this. This is my main sewer system. I'll just take this off, stick the hose in there, and let it run right out the sewer. Okay, like I said, if you have a sump pump in the ground, in the floor, then you would run it to the sump pump, or you can run it to a drain in the floor, and worst comes to worst, you'll be using some buckets, okay, which in my case would not be fun because the only way for me to get out of my basement is to go through the house. Okay, so anyway, so I'll be running the hose, opening the valve, draining it after I turn off the gas so that it stops firing, so that you never ever want your hot water heater to fire while there's no water in it, because you'll ruin the elements and you can warp the tank. Okay, so when I shut the gas off, I'll open the hose. Alright, and now you open the pressure relief valve in order to let air through the system so it'll pump out, otherwise it's going to take forever. The other thing you can also do is you can go to the highest faucet in your house, and by highest I mean if you have a second floor, go up and use the second floor as opposed to the first. And when you open up one of the faucets, it's going to let air into the system. It's going to drain everything out. Okay, from there, be using basically like a monkey wrench or something, and unscrewing this. Actually, I believe I have to remove it at the nipple, because the way basically the nipple works so that I can screw this without these two pipes moving, which is exactly what I want, because if I try to turn this, it's not going to turn because it's hooked to here. Okay, so unscrew this, then I'll be unscrewing this. Okay, and like I said, these will be cut. Just remove this. This just pops up. It's a little hot right now, so I don't want to mess with it, but it just popped right off. Okay, then you put the next one in the same spot. I'm going to be putting mine, actually the plan was to put it on some cinder blocks, but as you can see, I really don't have any space, so I might not actually be doing that. It is already on a platform, and like I said, my basement does not leak, or not anymore anyway. Basically this is just an explanation of exactly what you're going to need to do to remove this tank, and then obviously to install it, it would be the opposite. I'm going to try to get all the fittings so that they're all screw-on fittings, so I don't have to do as much sweating. But if you have to, it's not a big deal. If I wind up doing that, I'll show you how to do it. It's very, very simple. It's the type of thing that seems a little scary, but I mean, worst comes to worst, you get yourself a little bit wet. It's really not a big deal. So part 2 will be me installing the, removing and installing the actual hot water heater. This was just an explanation so that I could show you exactly what was going on with the firing and the needing to replace. Obviously, if it's leaking, anything like that, you want to get rid of it. Okay, just be cautious because of your gas lines. Now, these videos you're doing at your own risk. This is just me showing you how I do it. You know, if you decide to do it at home yourself, DIY, that's up to you. I take no responsibility for that. I'm just explaining how I get mine done. And once again, I've mentioned on my other videos, I've never really done stuff like this. I have actually gone to Lincoln Tech to learn all this, so I have a step up on some people, but really I've never done it before. I just encourage everybody to, you know, I don't want to say stop paying servicemen, but you know, a lot of times you can do these things yourself. You just got to get in there, you got to give it a shot, you just got to be willing to get your hands dirty, and you know, read up and investigate before you get started, and you'd be surprised at what you can do and how much money you can save. Okay, once again, check out part 2. Like, comment, share. Thank you.